And this news is brought to you by Andres Vieira and Raul Diaz from Miami Real Group.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, Google Gemini Chat,
Yeah.
Zoom AI Companion, WebEx with AI too. Like something straight out of sci-fi.
It is kind of wild, but what's interesting is how Miami's going about it. Not just jumping in, they're putting a cap on it. Like with Google Gemini Chat, it's 1,000 uses a month per person.
1,000. Well, it's a lot, but why even have a limit? Just server traffic stuff.
Could be part of it, sure. But think about it. It makes you stop and think before just using AI for everything. Is this really what I need it for right now? That's a skill in itself these days.
So it's strategic, not just being lazy. And then they said no sensitive info in these AI tools, right? So I guess that means no asking it to write a fiery email to your professor about a grade.
Right, exactly. You don't want student records, financial aid stuff, all that ending up who knows where. That'd be way worse than just breaking a Miami rule. That's privacy breach territory.
Big yikes. Okay, but on a lighter note, what about these Zoom and WebEx features? AI doing meeting summaries, pulling answers from recordings, even figuring out who's got to do what afterward. That's got to be a huge time saver, right?
Well, for sure. Huge time saver. But think about it. If everyone's just relying on the AI's notes, is anyone even paying attention in the meeting anymore?
Like those Spark Notes for books, you might pass the test, but did you really learn anything?
That's the thing, right? These tools, they should help us engage more, not be the engagement itself. And it seems like Miami gets that. They're being careful about it all.
So Miami's not just following the hype, they're being careful with this AI stuff.
Right.
But how does this actually help Miami? Not just faster meetings, but like changing how people learn and teach.
Okay, imagine this. You're a student, right? Tough research paper. Got to read tons of articles. What if Gemini Chat could, analyze them for you? Pull out the main points. Basically, your own super-powered research assistant.
Oh man, tell me about it. Back in my day, those all-nighters in the library.
Exactly. And professors. Think about making classes more interesting. Zoom's AI could summarize what everyone's saying during the lecture, or even make different study guides for each student based on how they learn best.
Whoa, that's serious personalization. Not just making it easier, but actually fitting each student.
Right. And don't forget, this could help students with disabilities too, making info easier to get to, new ways to participate. Everyone's included more.
That's awesome if it works out that way. But here's the thing. Doesn't this risk students, becoming too reliant on AI? What happens to their own thinking skills then?
Oh, that's the million-dollar question. That's why Miami saying use it responsibly is so important. It's not just giving them the tools, it's teaching them how to think about it all.
Like you wouldn't hand someone a race car and say, go nuts, without any lessons, right?
Exactly. AI can be powerful, but students need to be in the driver's seat, not just along for the ride. That's where professors, mentors, all that still matters more.
It's a tough balance, isn't it? This is super advanced tech, but we can't forget good old-fashioned human thinking.
Totally. And the thing is, this isn't just a Miami problem. Every university is figuring this out. The students graduating now, they're going to be working alongside AI.
So what they learn here, how to think critically about AI, that's huge. It affects them way beyond college.
And who knows what jobs will even exist in 10 years. But if Miami teaches them to adapt, to be excited about AI, but also question it.
Then they're set no matter what, right?
Exactly. It's about being ready for anything.
Okay, so all this meeting tech with the AI summaries, catching up faster, that's got to be good for something.
Right, absolutely. Imagine, miss a meeting, no problem. Read a quick summary, know exactly what's up, what you missed, what you got to do.
No more scrubbing through hours of recordings just to find your one tiny to-do list item buried in there.
Exactly. Plus, it could help people who can't always attend meetings in person. Transcripts, summaries, suddenly everyone's in the loop no matter what. It's about being fair.
That's the goal, right? Making things more equal for everyone. But I got to ask, anything we should be worried about? With all this AI integration, there's got to be some downsides.
Well, one thing that always comes up is bias. AI, it learns from data, right? If that data's got problems, the AI picks them up too.
So if they built this AI on meeting transcripts where, only certain people's opinions got listened to.
Exactly. The AI might think that's how it's supposed to be. And that's not fair. That's why Miami needs to be really careful what data they use to train these AI tools. Make sure it's about fairness and everyone being included. And that's not just tech stuff. That's about how we treat each other.
It's like a reminder that AI doesn't come from nowhere, right? People make it.
All right.
And we got to make sure it reflects good values, not the bad stuff we're trying to leave behind.
Absolutely. I got to be aware of the risks, but still hopeful about what AI can do if we use it the right way. It's a balancing act for sure.
It's wild. We're living in the middle of this tech revolution. Sounds like Miami's excited, but also not rushing into it blindly.
Exactly. Big changes happening, and it's up to all of us, not just Miami, but students, professors, everyone, to make sure it's for the better. And who knows? Maybe we'll discover awesome stuff about AI we never even thought of. That's the cool part. You never know what's next.
So it's like we're stepping into this unknown, right? All this potential, but easy to mess up too. We've talked about the good stuff, but how do we make sure Miami does this responsibly? What does that look like day to day?
It's got to be more than just, here's the AI, go wild. Education is key here, like workshops, training sessions, but not just teaching students how to use Gemini Chat, but how to think about what it spits out.
Not taking it as gospel, but being like, hold on, is this even right? Is it missing something?
Exactly. Understanding its limits, the biases it might have picked up, heck, even bigger picture stuff like what does it mean to have AI in education? That's a whole conversation right there. This
Okay.
is about Miami helping people use these tools thoughtfully, not just making them dependent on them.
Because that's what matters in the end, right?
Yeah.
Not just can we use AI, but what kind of students does Miami want to graduate? What skills do they need?
And that's where it gets really interesting because it's bigger than just Miami, isn't it? This AI stuff, it's everywhere. Their students graduate, go into a world where AI is in the workplace too.
So how they learn to think about AI here, that's their advantage out there.
Right. And who knows what jobs will even exist in 10, 20 years. But if Miami's prepared them to adapt, to be excited, but also a little skeptical.
They're ready for whatever, yeah. Well, this news was brought to you by Andres Vieira and Raul Diaz from Miami Real Group. Thanks for joining us.